How do we participate in and cooperate with the change to which God calls and invites us? Well, there are lots of ways, which is why we've been focusing on the spiritual practices and disciplines for the last couple of months, because it's all about transformation. It's about planting seeds of renewal in ourselves and in the world. We believe that what we do with our bodies, our time, and our resources transforms us and our world. It's not just about what we believe. And one of the practices that we can use to align our lives with the transformation that God wants to do in and through us is generosity. So last week, we talked about being generous with our assumptions, and by doing so, changing old, worn-out cycles that sometimes just seem inevitable. This week, we're going to talk about being generous with our time. One of the best ways that I know how to be generous with our time is to simply slow down. It is so simple, but it can transform the way we meet and see and experience the world. Slowing down is a way to put into practice the call of Galatians to sow the seeds of a different future, because as we slow down, we train ourselves to experience time in a different way. Instead of skimming along the top of it, we enter it deeply, and we experience it as a resource that we can use to forgive, to serve, to bless, to bear one another's burdens, and to continue to do good. Each moment, instead of just being another second in another day, is an opportunity to experience God, others, and the world differently. Slowing down helps us experience time as a gift from God, and also a gift that we can offer to others. When we are generous and open with our time, it helps us meet our lives with an air of expectancy as we await the ways that God might be inviting us to be generosity dealers. Generosity helps transform our experience of chronos time, chronological time, to kairos time, deep time. Chronos time is time we manage and count and get through. Kairos time is lived and experienced. It is the time in which we experience transformation. Chronos time is shallow. Kairos time is deep. You already know that 20 years ago, I moved to Vancouver to go back to school. And one day, not long after I moved, I was on Robson Street with my close friend. Robson Street is like the busiest street in Vancouver. My friend grew up in Vancouver, and as we were walking along, she turned to me and said, "It is not hard to tell that you're from Saskatchewan. You walk so slow." And then I noticed that everybody else was rushing by us as we moseyed along window shopping. You already know as well that I really like Vancouver. And so it wasn't just that I was slow because I was used to a slower pace. It was also that I was just taking everything in. It was a brand new start for me, and it felt like there was possibility everywhere. The people rushing along past me were in Chronos time, but I was in Kairos time. You might have a picture of a girl jumping off the bus in the big city in the 1960s, about to start her new life as an actress. Everything is new and amazing, and she's doing her Julie Andrews from The Sound of Music twirl in the middle of a dirty street. That's Kairos time. And this is what can happen as we slow down. Ordinary time can be experienced as deep time as we offer it to others generously. Here are some practical ways you can slow down and practice generosity with your time. In your family or household or at work or with your friends, learn to listen. Hear what people are saying rather waiting for them to finish saying what they're saying. Stop what you're doing. Turn your attention to them. Hold your tongue. Jean Nevels offers these questions from one of the Desert Fathers, you know those guys, to help us listen well to others. When you're listening, she suggests asking yourself these questions. Are you problem solving while you're listening, or accepting what they are saying? Are you trying to cheer someone up, or are you being a witness to their experience? Are you left avoiding their pain, or are you being deepened by what is being shared? And when someone is sharing a problem with you, pay attention to whether you are receiving their words and therefore them as a gift or as a problem to be solved. Are you feeling along with them, or are you trying to avoid their pain? One of the reasons we avoid listening to one another is that it costs us. It costs us time and energy, and it might mean that we need to change. Slowing down, offering our time generously, and recognizing that time has been given to us to enter into relationship with others, not to tick off a list of things to do or finish reading a Facebook post or send off another text message, helps us dislodge our tendency to hoard time for our own means. Here's another idea for being generous with your time, for experiencing time deeply. During some regular, ordinary task this week, stop, take a breath, and ask God to meet you in that ordinary task, to reveal to you a way that you can practice generosity while you're doing it. For example, when you're grocery shopping, everyone has a mask now. It's stressful. Most of us are trying to get in and out as quickly as we can. Slow down, let God in, and open yourself up to what's going on around you. Try to meet the eyes of people around you. Practice that smile with your eyes. Pay attention. It might take more time, but probably you'll manage life fine with whatever time you have left. Last week, I was at Walmart and I was in a hurry. I was also hot and I didn't want to be there. And as we usually do in times like that, I chose the slowest checkout line. In front of me was a senior citizen. She was slow. She had a hard time getting her cards out of her wallet. She forgot her PIN number 2 times. She was slow to load up. And I was getting more and more impatient and hotter and hotter. But then I just managed to talk myself into taking a breath and entering into the moment. I reminded myself that I have a slow grandma that I would want treated with kindness. And this helped me to notice her, to pay attention. And what I noticed was that after she had put her groceries back into her cart, she looked directly at the cashier and said, "Thank you." And when it was clear that the cashier wasn't really paying attention, she stopped and kind of leaned her head down and caught the cashier's eyes and said, "Thank you. Have a good day." And it stopped me in my tracks. It was so lovely. It was this small act of generosity, a little gift of extra time, and it transformed my time at the Walmart. So, slow down, open up, be ready to be generous. Something might happen or it might not. But if you get in the habit of doing this, chances are at some point something will happen and it'll probably be awesome. And if you don't do it, the awesome moment might just pass you by. Finally, if you have some extra time this week, and it feels like most of us have quite a lot of extra time, think about someone who could benefit from that time. Call your mom. Meet a friend for a walk. Play a game with your kid or start a conversation with your roommate. Pray for the people in your life who you can't be with, but who need comfort and joy in this season. This week, let's do something to be generous with our time. And maybe, just maybe, experience what it means to live God's time.